Welcome to another episode of Dungeon Boss Respawned. This time we're gonna take a look at the buffs for all the different heroes I found. Basically just looked at the most interesting ones. If any buffs are not covered in here, then they are either very hero specific. So like I'm not gonna go over every attack buff that some different heroes have. Or I haven't ascended the hero far enough to unlock it. Some heroes might have a new type of buff in their final ascension. But this is what I found so far. So we start with Moriko's passive, which is not really a buff, but it is growth. So I count it as a buff. He's currently the only one that has growth. He's the only plant. Even though he is not called a plant, he's called an elemental. But yeah, it increases max health and attack by 2% per stack. And max is 8 stacks. So I guess this is a flat 16% health and attack buff at full stacks, which is I guess really hard nerf in comparison to original Dungeon Boss. Because in original Dungeon Boss I think he had like more than double the health at max stacks or something like that. There is a spreadsheet somewhere. I don't know it off the top of my head, but it was definitely like double the health. And a good chunk of damage too, so this is a nerf basically. Here we have Niveus. Slippery Scales starts with debuff immune to all debuffs. This is self-explanatory. On OG Dungeon Boss he gave this to all dragons on the team. Now it is only him. I don't know if that changes with his final ascension or not. Don't have him ascended. Or if whenever we get epics, or I don't know, maybe we already have epics. But yeah. It's just a debuff immune buff, I guess. Here we have Phoenix Feather from Solaris, which stayed the same as in OG Dungeon Boss. Corpse cannot be removed for 3 turns. Okay. Lorelei gives 2 buffs. First buff is Flying from Gift of Flight, which is just a 25% damage reduction against melee attacks, I think. So it didn't change. And Magic Prism now got changed to Reflecting. And Reflecting reflects 50% of the damage taken back at the attacker for 3 turns. So it's not a lifelink anymore, it's just half of the damage gets reflected back, which is a good change. Here we have one of the few buffs that I found that are hero specific and also scale with the hero. This one is Goblin Dance from Bramble and increases attack for all allies by 11%. This is on level 1. No ascensions, no stars. So I'm guessing this is gonna either, well, most definitely scale with ability level and maybe even scale with skill. Not too sure on that yet. Here we have Voodoo Chant from Nub, which gives a crit chance increase by 10% at level 1, 1 star, and it adds regenerating to all allies. I tested it out. Regenerating doesn't state how much health it regenerates, or if there's, like, if it's percentage based or if it's a flat amount. But basically with the 4 heroes that I used him with, he just insta-healed them full each turn with this buff active. So I guess it is a flat amount, but it is a pretty high flat amount, I guess. Here we have the Invincible, which is just a cannot be damaged for 2 turns. If you watched my dwarves video, you already saw that on Valkin. So I guess a few more heroes have this now, which is okay, I guess. I mean, it's gonna bring the time to kill up by a bit, especially on an S1 with no shield piercing or anything in the game right now. But it should be fine. Here we have Shielded, which is basically like Invincible, just that it has an amount of shielding it can take. So this is 2 stacks of Shielded, so it absorbs 2 instances of damage. But be careful, like if you are shocked and you have 2 stacks of Shielded and you get hit, the shock is gonna take 1, and the initial hit is also gonna take a second stack off of the shielded, so you're gonna be left with no shield. Here we have another specific one, which is Soul Ledger from Craw. It returns, and it increases skill and max health by 2% per stack, max 8 stacks. So basically like with Moriko, the Grove, it's basically the same. Here we have Hastened, which apparently does not work on the Dwarf team right now. I found that Bramble also has Hastened in his moveset, but it is locked behind his first ascension. I don't have it right now, so I don't know if it actually works on the Goblin team. I'm just gonna guess it doesn't, so if it starts to work, it's gonna be pretty good, especially for the Dwarf and the Goblin team. But until then, it is, I guess, a placeholder until it gets fixed. Here we have Shrouded. I've seen this one on a few heroes. I think Miko has it as well, but on his first ascension, so don't have that yet. Which basically makes it so this character can't be targeted by enemy abilities unless they're the only remaining target, which is currently a lie because it is bugged. Who could have guessed? Darius on a defense, if you're attacking and she gets her second ability off to basically get shrouded, you can't target her for 3 turns. No matter if she is the last hero alive or if there are other heroes, she is just immune to any damage. I don't know if she is immune to heroes that are immune to taunt. I haven't tried that yet, but I guess she would be, because it's not taunting that keeps her from getting attacked, but it's shrouded, and we don't have a shrouded immune yet. Here's evading. So this is another one that is at the moment kind of useless. As you can see, it's 3, 6, 12, 21, and 33% dodge chance, depending on the number of stacks. This one is also bugged, but not in the same way as the others. It just doesn't display a number. As you can see above Darius, you have the shrouded, the evading, but it doesn't say 1 stack, 2 stacks or something, it just shows the icon. So there's basically no way in telling how many stacks of evading your characters or an enemy character has. So just good luck getting a hit in. Here we have Empowered, one of the more widely spread buffs. Increases attack and crit damage by 5 to 55% depending on the number of stacks. I mean, it's crit damage, it's not crit chance, so it's kinda useless, but the attack buff is nice. Foresight got a change. It still does the same thing, but now it can only caps out at 9 stacks, which is a good change. Especially with the casters and dark heroes and undead heroes kinda leaning heavily into foresight build-up. A cap of 9 is good. I don't know if it actually works, the cap of 9. I hope so. Here we have Inspired. If you watched the Dwarves video, you have seen this one as well. Character heals for 4 to 26% of their max health whenever they use an ability other than their basic attack. Which is a pretty nice way of passive healing. But it also only works if you actually have energy for an ability. So kind of useless in the beginning if you don't have heroes ascended once or twice, so they have multiple abilities to go to every few turns. Here we have Taunting. Taunting got changed to just a flat 10% damage reduction. So I guess that's fine. I mean, we usually had like a 50% defense boost. But I guess with the current state of the game, a 50% defense boost would be overly powerful. So I guess a 10% damage reduction is pretty balanced. Here we have Defended. Increases defense by 5 to 55% for 3 turns. So if you have like a defensive team and you want to stack this up pretty quick, it should be easily doable. Because like Wrath gives like 2 stacks, then there is Astrid who gives like 1 stack, and a few other heroes that also stack it up. So you should be able to get to 5 stacks if you actually want to do that. And this is actually the last one of the buffs that I've found. I'm gonna record the debuffs video right after this, so keep an eye out. And as usual, if you have any ideas, if you have any findings or any questions, just leave them down in the comments or write me on Discord. Bye bye.